Assalamu alaikum. The world is passing a very, very critical time since Second World War. But the question is why? We all know that the big questions in the contemporary world: is it the end of the U.S. unipolar world, or are we heading towards a multipolar or world system? So, and these big questions is very much relevant in the context of present world, because United States of America is no longer capable of dominating whole world nowadays, because they failed to subjugate Iran after so many days in Iran war. So it clearly suggested that the US unipolar hegemony is no longer exist. On the other hand, the rise of China as is viewed as an existential threat to the US hegemony. And though there was no direct military confrontation is taking place between China and US yet, but there are conflict in terms of economic power, in terms of military capacity, in terms of global tables and dominance. China is no longer remain isolated. China is gradually increasing its footprint around the world, from Asia to Africa, from Russia to Middle East, from China. As China is no China is growing its dominance. China is developing its influence through its soft power like economic trade and economy and trade and commerce, and also its technology, its product, its manufacturing products. So China is everywhere. United States is no longer incapable of stopping China, though China is not involved in any kind of direct military confrontations with USA. But China is challenging United States of America in every part of the world, in every corner of the world. Chinese product is dominating across the Asia, across the Africa, across the, in fact, both the United States market is also dominated by the Chinese product. And United States of America being the unipolar hegemony for the long times, United States of America is not capable to match with this China. China is the many global center of manufacture. China is the center of retail business. China is the center of everything right now. United States economic hegemony is already surrendered to Chinese dominance in terms of trade, commerce, and science and technology. So and that's why United States see China as a big threat, a number one threat. And that's why United States trying to engulf China in many ways, and specifically the Chinese major source of oil supply is from Iran and Venezuela and Cuba. So already United States captured the oil facilities of the Venezuelan. And on the other hand, they also tried, United States try to capture the Iranian wells and change through regime change. But unfortunately, it did not happen. So Iran has been resisting quite well, and that is a major threat. And this is a major breakthrough that United and major setbacks for the United States of America, because they are not able to defeat Iran, and let alone defeating Iran, they are not able to make any kind of deal with Iran, despite so much negotiation. So so there is a questions, there is a tensions that is it the end of the US hegemony? And from that perspective, Chinese President Xi Jinping mentioned that China is accelerating power, China is a growing power, and United States should not view China as a threat or existential threat to the USA. And Xi Jinping said China's growth, China's development is only for peaceful purpose. China has no intention to build any empire or any kingdom and capture any parts of the world. Chinese growth and development will benefit the all countries and both USA. So this is the ideal remark by the Xi Jinping, but he made a very important remark that the USA must avoid the Thucydides trap. That is that is very interesting phase that we need to discuss further, because like the war, Peloponnesian War, between Sparta and Athens, and the USA should not fall trap on this kind of in theory. And because Xi Jinping indirectly indicates that the China is though China is surpassing United States in terms of economic power, in terms of manufacturing, in terms of trade and commerce, but United States should not view Chinese growth as a threat to the US. Rather, US should welcome it, and US people will benefit from Chinese growth. But these are the very ideal, conversation. But in real world, it is China is real threat to USA. But through Thucydides trap, Xi Jinping clearly indicates that USA should welcome China's growth, and USA should welcome China's voice in global systems. And he indirectly referred that China's voice must be heard. US cannot deny the Chinese influence in the global systems, and USA must be mentally and physically prepared for to accept the reality that China is a global power, and China is no longer dictated by the any foreign powers, and China has every right to to say its voice in global major decision making. So through and Xi Jinping invited and requested Donald Trump that the rise of China must not be result in any kind of military confrontations with the USA. And if even if they're doing so, and USA must China will really retaliate, and China will not attack fast. But if the Chinese interest, if the Chinese economy, if the Chinese any kind of China is directly attacked by the United States of America, China will not stop. China will retaliate. So this is a clear threat to the USA, that the USA, China is already is already established itself as a major global economic power, and also China is building its military capacity, technological capacity, its soft power. China is increasing its influence across Asia, Africa, and Europe, even United States of America. So China is gradually increasing its footprints in terms of economic integrations with the world, in terms of technological sharing, in terms of in terms of all kinds of issues, and China is gradually increasing its influence. So United States of America must not fall in Thucydides trap. They should not engage war with China. If they do so, they will face the real reality. And the United States is economically, they are not able to challenge Chinese growth. But if they attack China, and the United States might face the same result that Peloponnesian War brought to the Spartan. Thank you so much.